ImPJComics is on. Oh boy, I can't wait to watch ImPJComics.
Grab your cran grape juice and put your nuts back on. You're watching ImPJComics.
He rests his hands on his pants, the one area I wanted his hands to avoid most. Red was just beaming from his eyes, and from that, I knew what came next. Dad, I can explain. So, we're continuing right where we left off, with me facing at what might be the personification of the wrath of God. My Jamaican father. And not just my Jamaican father, I was practically treading a fine line of being a victim of pure islander rage. But of course, this is all rightfully so. My current problem is the result of my previous actions. I accidentally, as in by mistake, like it was all by mistake, touched a woman. You scum! It was by mistake, I swear. Like, it's not on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. You're a criminal! Wait! If you want more context on that, the previous video is right there on everything I love. I'm innocent.
Shameless plug. I respect it.
No! I seen the video. He put his whole palm on her poom like he was Ice Spice.
You need to see.
You're a criminal. Yeah! Yeah! We should cancel him. Yeah! Get rid of him. Yeah! Down with PJ. Yeah! Lame J Comics. Yeah! Get rid of him. Yeah! We should take off his clothes, cover him with honey, and make him dance. I mean, we dislike the video. Please! If you're new, go watch that video. In full, unlike some people. And if you're still new, or you've been here while I'm on my come up as a YouTuber, stay to the end. Enjoy this story, and I hope you have a good time. So, for starters, let me kick it off with some context on my heritage. I don't know if I've ever made it clear, but I live in a Caribbean household where my mother is Haitian and my father is Jamaican. That aside though, my parents were strict and genuine symbols of hard work and stoicism, with an undercoat of love. But sometimes, when they get like this, when their islander blood begins to boil, everything they've been described as goes out the window. Absolutely no one was prepared for the upcoming events.
Why did they touch the girl for?
I don't know. She told me she liked. Off rip, I realized my father wasn't asking me questions to learn what happened. He was just asking just to say he asked. He didn't care what happened. He was just fiending to beat my ass. He was a hit first, ask questions later, if you live kind of guy. But the only thing that added time to my utter demise was the fact that I was akin to the comic's name. My dad brought a stick out of nowhere, prepped and ready like a GTA character with the ability to spawn a rocket launcher to the palm of his hand. The atmosphere in the room weighted down on my shoulders like Ichigo stepping foot into Sarate. Sweat started trailing down my back, and I tried to gulp down the anxiety-filled spit down my throat, but it wouldn't stay, because even my saliva knew there's absolutely nowhere to run. In each of the 7 billion ways this interrogation can go down, there's not one outcome where I come out unscathed. You don't understand. It was dark and fumbling, stammering, and tripping over my words like I had two tongues trying to tell two different stories. My father slams his hand on the table, mid-explanation, gets up, walks 8 paces to the family room, tears the TV from the living room wall, then tossed it like a softball. Sits back down, and then, and only then, I learned something new. Let me introduce you to the second in command of the Caribbean hierarchy of familial weaponry. Basically, the tools used by my ethnic ancestors to discipline their children. My dad presented to me an extension cord ripped freshly from the living room wall and added it into his inventory. This extension cord was aluminum, steel, copper, and silver coated with a 2mm thickness of rubber, giving the dense amount of material elasticity. If you take a close gander at this chart over here, it has a higher attack power than the previous weapon. Terrible handling because it's not meant to be gripped, and a limited amount of durability because if it breaks, then we can't watch TV. Well, not that it matters, considering the entire flat screen is across the kitchen floor like a jigsaw puzzle, but that's not the point. Basically, this weapon has the ability to demolish my cheeks.
You speak when spoken to.
As a man, you should be ashamed of yourself. I busted my ass working the day job, and you go to where the education is, the learning, and you get the motivation to touch that girl. Idiot boy, boom the club. So why had to touch the girl? Man, I don't have a clue what he's saying, but I'll sure act like I do. But Dad, for that! My dad stood right back up, and then that's when I realized my father was so mad that he was asking the wrong question. He was supposed to ask, "Did you mean to touch the girl in the way that you did?" But he didn't ask that. The kind of question he was asking was like kids asking me, "Does your mom know you're gay?" When in reality, I don't even like, but does he? It was a question baited to leading you into telling on yourself. My father was just itching to whoop my ass. It didn't matter what I said. Again, his question was just delaying the inevitable demise that can only be delivered with Caribbean heritage. If I had realized this sooner, maybe the next couple of moments would have been different. But to be honest, my fate was sealed the moment he stood up. He rested his hands on his pants, the one area I wanted his hands to avoid most. Red was just beaming from his eyes. And from that, I knew what came next. Dad, wait, I can explain. So, like, do you know what Riz is? Literally whipped from his pants, was steaming from the amount of friction he caused to take it from his quality Dickies jeans. He slowly wrests the #1 weapon from the Caribbean hierarchy of familial weaponry. Some may call it a required accessory. Some may not need it. Its main purpose was to uphold your jeans and slacks. It can even make the person look better. But when the two ends of the 47 inches of well-crafted leather meet, the purpose shifts and turns into what my father likes to call
all reliable.
It's not even considered a belt anymore. My father gracefully sits all reliable on the table, sits right back down with silent rage moisturing the atmosphere of the room. Then he says one single word. Pick. My father asked me to choose which weapon to beat the dog shit out of me with. The stick, the extension cord, or the belt. I swallowed what saliva I had left that didn't evaporate from the amount of body heat that I was producing from my anxiety. Raised my left hand and pointed towards the thing I'd hoped he'd go with to beat my ass. I picked a napkin. Yes, I was dead ass. I was praying my dad would beat me with the leftover napkin from the McDonald's we had last night.
FBI!
Give the north side, not either one.
Sir?
What is it, rookie?
Why are we out here in the middle of the quiet neighborhood in the dead of the night? I know this is Emergency Joint Operations Command, but all this artillery and backup in this neighborhood feels strange. Yeah, actually, you missed a debrief on our way here, but we've evacuated all citizens in the neighborhood because of this man inside that home. An S-class domestic terrorist. He's just a kid. Why is there nothing on the file? I thought the same thing. Orders are orders. Give me the megaphone.
We have you surrounded. Make this easy and give up. We know who you are. ImPJComics.